Welcome everybody to The Life of Jones, where we invite uncertainty and pursue curiosity with reckless abandon. That's the way we do it here. Everything is full tilt ahead. And today we're talking about liberal gun ownership. And that's the way it started anyway. That was the way the preamble, that's the way the script started, was liberal gun ownership. And what I've discovered in the research there is gun ownership is on the rise in this country, left, right, and center. It doesn't matter whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or a conservative or a liberal or even a socialist. I think that the NRA should be running scared because the socialists have their own gun club, and I think that that's fabulous. It's called it's the SRA, the Socialist Rifle Association, and it's just a collection of people that, I mean, who would have thought that, that it is a diverse collection of people, and they're they're training, they're learning how to shoot firearms. And I think that that is a perfect example of what this country really is about. And I think also that it could very well scare some of the conservative people in the country. And I'm okay with that. I think that that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think that we all have to be on equal footing, and knowing that everybody's armed, while it doesn't make us safer, it's gonna level the playing field. And that's, that's what America is really all about, right? Is leveling the playing field. Now, I didn't want to show up empty-handed. If somebody is going to cause harm to me, my family, or my country, I want to be able to defend that. And that's why I purchased firearms. I purchased several firearms, and I may purchase more in the future. I don't think that it goes against my values. I don't think that it goes against me wanting peace and love and compassion and trust. I don't think it goes against that at all, because what I'm saying is that just by the fact that I own the firearm doesn't mean that I'm going to run rampant and do stupid stuff. It's unfortunate that it happens that way. And there's a paradox. And the paradox is really pretty simple. And that is that, first of all, guns aren't the problem. And that's just period. Guns are not the problem. And if you think that guns are the problem, I mean, just do the thought experiment. I mean, what if there were no guns, would there be any gun violence? No, of course not. But the same holds true. If there were no human beings, there would be no gun violence. So the gun itself is an inanimate object. And more of those inanimate objects isn't the solution either. And that's the paradox, that it doesn't work. It's arguing for the wrong result. And the result that I would prefer that we made an effort to achieve is peace, love, and understanding. And I mean, when Elvis Costello wrote that tune, Elvis Costello is one of the early Jones generation members. He was born in 1954, and 1954 is the first year. Oh God, do I have that right? I think that's right. I think 1954 is the first year of the Jones generation, and Elvis Costello was born in 1954, and he went on to write the tune, What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding, because that's become the butt of a joke. And I think that the reason that it's become the butt of a joke is because it's not macho. It doesn't have any swagger to it. It can be considered passive. And I want to argue that a couple things. First of all, I think that Jesus of Nazareth was a radical. And I think that he was a rabble rouser. And I think that he really did want to shake things up. And when he said, love thy neighbor as you love yourself, that takes bigger balls than holding a gun. I think that takes way bigger balls. And the people that don't see it that way, they have little balls to begin with, you know, and they just don't have it. So here we are in the 21st century, and we're speeding along. We have an arsenal of nuclear weapons that say to any enemy that cares to show itself on the horizon that we're bigger than you are. We are more powerful than you are. And we may very well be bigger and more powerful. But the argument that I want to bring up there is that, but that doesn't mean that we're safer. It means that the enemy is deterred because they know that we could blow them right out of the water, and that ours are good. I mean, like ours are, you know, according to the United States, according to the government, according to all of our science, we have the best stuff, right? Now, I don't know if that's true. I want to believe it's true because I want to sleep at night. And I want the people in Russia to sleep at night, and the people in anywhere else in the world. I think that the deterring violence is different than achieving safety. A safety is loving thy neighbor. It's harder, it's more difficult, and it's something that we don't have a lot of practice doing. There's just, nobody cares about that. I don't want to be the only defenseless person when society collapses. I don't want to be the person that doesn't have a response to somebody marching towards my house. I want to have a response that's lethal, and I want to know how to use it, and I do. And I'm okay with that. My values haven't changed. Protecting my family and my home is huge. It's as huge as protecting the Constitution of the United States and the borders of the United States and the little kids of the United States, you know, and the homeless. I mean, there's a lot of people that need protection, and we've pushed our way to this impasse from the very, very beginning, and I don't think we have a good, clear picture on how to get out of it. I think that we're stuck. We're stuck believing our own bullshit, as it were. And the bullshit is, if I'm more powerful than you, then I'm right. And right or wrong, I don't think aren't in that equation. If I'm more powerful than you, that just means that I have better stuff. The Jones generation grew up in some pretty tumultuous times. Vietnam War, obviously, Watergate, Richard Nixon, even Ronald Reagan. A little bit later, I guess, Ronald Reagan was in the early 80s, late 70s. And we didn't trust. There was a lot of distrust. We had just gone through that. The quote-unquote establishment, our parents' generation and our grandparents' generation, the establishment, thought that society was coming to an end because kids were running wild in the street. And those kids were our older, bigger brothers and sisters in the boomer generation, the ones that were older than us by 5, 10 years. They were the hippies, and they saw the world differently. Some of them, not all of them, obviously. Some of them saw the world differently and wanted, genuinely desired peace, love, and understanding. Genuinely wanted things to change. And I remember watching this growing up and seeing it on TV and contrasting that against the Vietnam War and the body counts and, you know, the riots and the peace marches that were part of my childhood. And I thought about it yesterday, and I realized that I want those boomers to have been right. I want those hippies to have been right. That the real answer is peace, love, and understanding. And it reminds me of the tune. I mean, in the music of the era exemplifies that. And the one that I'm thinking of is a Fifth Dimensions tune that was in the movie Hair, called The Age of Aquarius. And The Age of Aquarius talks about peace, love, and understanding, and it talks about trust. It talks about trust, and that was what was missing. And I think that that's what's missing today is trust. And we haven't really learned. And maybe it could be argued that it hasn't been that long since 1969, you know. But it doesn't look like trust is up there on the agenda. And I think that that's unfortunate. I think that the desires of the boomer generation, when they were, you know, coming of age, were legitimate, and that it is possible to develop a society. I don't know if we're going to do that or not, but there's a society where love and trust and compassion and concern for every human being is paramount. We'll see. Next week is going to be the X-59 supersonic jet that they're building in California. This jet has flown test flights, and I'll do a little bit more research. There's a bunch of good stuff there. That too is part of my growing up. So we'll see you next week.